Stealth mode engaged.
Once again, the violent, racist pigs have killed another young man of color. We are here to show the family of Kimani Gray solidarity from the people of Oakland, from the Justice for Alan Blueford Coalition. I am deeply saddened to hear about Kimani, another life taken much too early. My heart and condolences goes out to the Gray family. My prayers and peace to you. My heart bleeds as I've learned the circumstances regarding his murder. And I again am reliving the brutal tragedy and murder of my son Alan. Police killing our children without care or concern for the young men, their families, or their communities. The killing must stop on the West Coast, East Coast, and everywhere there's senseless murders occur. The brutal cops must be held accountable and prosecuted for murder. My son Alan was taken from us May 6th while yelling, "I didn't do anything." We will stand to get justice for him, and we stand in solidarity with the Gray family. We hear your cries, and we have cried your tears. We'll fight until justice prevails, until Alan's name and Kimani's name can live on, and the name of these injustices, can live on, and that these injustices will stop all over the world. God bless, love, the Blueford family. It's really sad, but I'm going to pass the mic off to another mom who we want to let her know that she's not alone, that the justice for her son, Gary King, has not been forgotten. There are just too many names to list, but I thank you all for being here, and I'm going to introduce Kathy King, mom of Gary King.
My son Gary was killed by an Oakland police sergeant, Patrick Gonzalez, on September 20th, 2007. He saw him out in front of the store, and the first thing he does is try to put Gary in handcuffs. Gary resists being put in handcuffs because I believe he's indignant. Why are you putting me in handcuffs? You haven't even asked me a question yet. His friends are there watching him. Well, he grabs Gary, they get into a scuffle. He's got his hair by his braids and he's punching him repeatedly, his friends told me. And then he tased him and still unable to put Gary down. Gary was trying to stand up, he was calling for help, and the officer shot him twice in the back. So I stand in solidarity today with Kimani Gray's family, and Alan Blueford's family, and Raheem Brown's family, and Derek Jones's family, and Oscar Grant's family, and Kenneth Harding's family, and Marilyn Washington's son, Gaddafi, and Idris Stelly's family, and Lavelle Mixon's family. Today is the anniversary of the day that they killed Lavelle Mixon, who I'm sorry to say is a hero to me, because after my son was murdered by the police department, I'm afraid I had many visions of doing exactly what Lavelle did. So he's a hero to me, and God rest his soul, and all others who were killed by law enforcement. And I'd love to see an end to the day when law enforcement is allowed to kill our citizens. Thank you very much.
Power to the people! Fist in the air! Power to the people! Free GP! a moment and just have a moment of silence for all of the fallen black, brown, and poor people murdered at the hands of the pigs here, the pigs in New York, the pigs in Chicago, the pigs across the world. Just a moment. What we have to do is build this movement beyond ourselves. What we have to do is take this mess to the streets, to knock on doors, to inform people about what's happening. And forget putting your personal opinion on it, just tell them what is happening. Be clear that they are murdering innocent black and brown and poor men in the streets like they are dogs. No, Kimani did not have a gun. No, Alan Blueford did not have a gun. They are just killing them. And most people are going to react to that. And then after you inform them, have something to plug them into besides a protest or a march or a rally. Have some work for them to do. It's not working. I'm sorry, it's not working. It's too many dead black and brown boys out there. It's too many and it's too much. And I'm tired of screaming about it. Yeah. It's time for us all to get it together. Rise and power, Kimani. I extend in solidarity with you. I'm taking just one more moment to talk about my comrade GP really quick. Comrade GP participated in the Justice for Alan Blueford action on Tuesday, March 5th. He got into it with the pigs, as he's known to do. On March 7th, California Highway Patrol showed up at his house and took him to jail. And so when I asked GP if there was anything he wanted me to say to y'all, he said, thank you for the support and the love. He said, and let this be a testimony, a wake-up call to all of us about the seriousness of the business we are engaged in. This is not a game. They take us more seriously than we take ourselves, and that's a shame. He said we need to pretend like we're in the 9th inning and we 4 down. It's time to get it in.
The way to say it, the struggle continues in East Flatbush. The media did what the media always does when people stood up to this murder, which immediately happened that night. People refused to tolerate this murder, and it wasn't just this murder. People in East Flatbush, over and over again, it's even come out in the corporate media, the quote tense or difficult relationship the police have with the people in East Flatbush. And it's not tense, it's not difficult, it's racist occupiers in an oppressed community. Immediately when we called the demonstration here, those same organizers in New York were heartened, excited, thrilled to hear that we were doing this, emboldened, and part of that call for Sunday is in response to the demonstration being called here in Oakland. And so what we're seeing is more and more there's solidarity not only between individual activists and organizations growing in Oakland and the Bay Area, but across the country from Oakland to Brooklyn. There's solidarity, we're building each other's movement, we're standing up for each other to see that not only these cops are accountable, but this doesn't keep happening. Thank you.
All right, man. Me, I'm from Oakland, man. I'm from North Oakland. I'm from the 60s. You feel me? I done seen a lot of police do a lot of shit, a lot of shiesty shit. Excuse my language, but that's just how I'm about to talk. You feel me? I done seen it. It's every day for me. It's every day for every young black brother out here that's trying to survive out here. You feel me? We see the police as the enemy. We don't look at them as nothing else. And it's time for everybody to start thinking that and start looking at them that way. You feel me? That's the only way anything gonna happen. You feel me? We can come to these marches and be in solidarity marches with motherfuckers way on the other side of the country and shit, but this motherfuckers that's dying every day by 5-0 at the news be saying little shit about, and then that's just 4-5 seconds, you feel me? But we don't do shit about that, you know what I mean? We need to start doing more shit about what's going on here in Oakland. That's the only way, you feel me? We gonna be able to inspire everybody else in all these other places, you feel me? Because we ain't gonna be able to inspire Brooklyn by just doing solidarity marches with them, you feel me? We gotta inspire them by, you feel me, being solid with each other, you feel me? And bringing the phone right to these motherfuckers right here in Oakland, you feel me? Because that's what it's about, you feel me? So, I mean, you know, it's about time everybody starts seeing the police as a motherfucking enemy, man. That's what they are.
Yes, yes.
If y'all ain't, if you think they gonna save you or something when you in trouble, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about me. And if I'm gone, then they gonna find somebody else not to give a fuck about. So, yeah.
Fuck you, police!
I'm tired, but you know what? I'm not gonna stop because I realize though. Because if this change doesn't happen with us, it's really about our babies. And so I want you to remember this. When Tatiana says, duck the police, who is Oscar's daughter, only 7 years old, there's a mental subconscious aspect that done happened to her, as well as all these other young children that are seeing these murders take place in the community when it comes to their daddies, their uncles, their brothers, their fathers. Right now she's saying duck. But as long as we come out here and we show that we're willing to die so that they can have a form of life that is much better than what we got at this time in this system, they will be the real revolutionary changers of this society. That's right. So we're doing it for our babies. We're doing it for our children. So we have to come out here, no matter what, whether it's proactive or after the fact, but we have to come out here because we got to allow them to see us out here speaking to this very issue. With Oscar Grant, if we really try to look back in time to see what happened, we got to understand something about what made Johannes Messenger become the first officer in California state history to be charged, arrested, convicted, and jailed. We got to understand what helped to bring that about. That's right. Well, I'm going to tell you, it was those caravan for justice to the state capitol. 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000 people going to the state capitol, speaking to that very issue of what happened to Oscar on that platform. It was the fact that labor joined with the community in order to bring an economic threat to this community concerning the fact that these young men are dying in the street. We have to connect this issue with our brothers that are working, our union. That's real important. The ILWU set a major example on how to get it done. So if you are involved in a union or you're working and you have union members that you're aware of, talk to them. Cry, let them know how important it is that their support is needed. Because we cannot bring a change without them. We have to have some kind of economic power as well. A good example is what happened just recently with Mario Romero and Vallejo. The ILW showed up and they was able to shut down the council meeting out there. That was powerful. It's a beginning, but we can't let it go. We got to continue. I mean, it's like I want to plead about this situation because I'm so tired of seeing our young men die. Don't let it come to your door to feel this pain. That's right. That's right, Bobby. We have to be out here now, addressing it, speaking to it, and be serious about going to the State Attorney General office, Kamala Harris, and telling her we tired of gun violence and that we want it to stop. And if it's done by the police officer and he has a history, it is gun violence, and that we have to attack that piece of legislation called the Peace Officers Bill of Rights. It's going to be a major fight. But I'm telling you, when I look at it through my spiritual eyes, I see a victory. When I look at it through my earthly eyes, it's like, man, is anything going to ever change? So I'm saying, raise yourself up and begin to take a look at this in your spiritual eyes and see it for our babies. That this battle is not to the swift, it is to those who endure, and that is our children who say we're fighting for. Justice to Alan Blueford. Justice to Kimani Gray. Justice to all those who have been killed at these by these road police officers. Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of things on my mind as I'm holding Kimani Gray in my thoughts, and I'm holding the people of Brooklyn in my thoughts, and I'm trying to imagine what in the hell is a frozen zone. When they talk about the notion that New York Police Department can just decide to clamp down and say there's not going to be any media in or out of these neighborhoods. We're not going to let this unrest spread. And it breaks my heart and it gives me hope. Because if they've got to go to those lengths, they know that across this country, every community is struggling with this fascism. Every community is fighting the police state in their various ways. And part of helping people to free themselves of their illusions is to put the information in front of their faces. So when the police of Berkeley on February 12th killed a person in Berkeley who to this day they still will not not release the name of the person who died in custody, in their custody. But we know that that person's name is Kayla Moore. We know it because we talked to the neighbors. We know it because we got the dispatch records. We know it because we talked to the family. We're gathering the information that we need to show that these cops did not go to Kayla Moore's apartment that night to save and help her. They went there to hogtie and to destroy that person's life. They didn't care about that person's life. Cop Watch is offering a Know Your Rights training, a how to document, on April 13th. Check us out on Facebook, check us out, get the information. We want you to be there. There's all kind of ways of documenting what the police are doing. We want to show you how we're investigating so that you can investigate, so that you can convince your neighbors, friends, and families that these cops have got to go.
I want to thank you all for letting me speak here. What I have to add is that what we need to start doing is filing complaints. Everybody that gets stopped by the police, take the initiative to go down to the internal affairs and turn in complaints. Okay, because my friend and I, we've had a federal court case. We had a trial, and the trial was sealed from the public. What it was the public strip searching. The Oakland police officers were strip searching people in public. And we went to trial about this, and we won our case. And the stopping people for non-probable cause was ruled unconstitutional, and it was ruled that it violated our civil rights. Now the police are still doing it. They're doing it so much that it got all the way back around to us just last week. The police stopped us and did the same thing that was ruled unconstitutional in our trial. Now we just filed a complaint. This was the sheriff's department that did it this time. And we just filed complaints today and a few days ago with the sheriff's department. That's what we all need to start doing. Whenever this is happening to us, get in touch with one of these organizations. If you need help filing your complaint, get in touch with some of the people that talk on these mics, that the organizations, the people that are out here, get in touch with them to see how you can go and file your complaint. Because we need to flood the internal affairs with complaints. Just flood them. Whatever we can do to get this movement going, we need to start doing it. All right, and that's all I really have to say at this time. But I thank you again for coming out here, and I thank you for letting me speak.
All that violence that we, implement around the world, most recently in Iraq and Afghanistan, comes back to the United States in the form of policing. Miguel Masso, who murdered Alan Blueford, was an Iraq veteran. How many people did he kill or see killed or get involved with in terms of the violence of Iraq? He ended up brutalizing a prisoner in the prisons of NYPD in New York. He left there under a cloud. There was a lawsuit against him and several officers who tasered and almost killed someone in custody in that jail in New York. He then comes back to California. He ends up working for OPD, and then he obviously killed unarmed Alan Blueford in the middle of the night in East Oakland. And he, in fact, if you get into the police report, he went into a zone. He didn't know where he was or what he was doing. In fact, he probably has, PTSD, from his experience in Iraq. So I say that we have to, not just, in an ad hoc, spontaneous way, but we have to develop a strategy collectively of how we are going to police ourselves, how we're going to protect our community, our families, our children from the police and from whomever else wants to harm them. Because I'm sick and tired, particularly as an older activist, to see young children killed by our police. Not only the Oakland police, but by the Oakland Unified School District Police, who killed Raheem Brown Jr. So the Alan Blueford Coalition is going to be developing a series of meetings in East Oakland, West Oakland, throughout the city to begin the serious study, research, intellectual power our community, and people can get involved, and we cannot rely on OPD. So we welcome you in that project, and I think it's about time that we aren't just coming out here and complaining and demanding and screaming and crying about the horrors of our police, but that we actually take back the power of the city of Oakland for our own policing and not rely on the OPD. Thank you very much.